The major difference with the new law will be that it's a primary offense, meaning that officers can pull somebody over if they observe what they believe to be a violation of that law. Previously, it was a secondary offense, which means they had to observe some other violation that would give them probable cause to make that stop. So I would say it's a bit of an improvement. However, there's plenty of room for more improvement with the new law.
In this case, the fine amount is still $127.50 as far as that goes. But the penalty is as far as drivers go. We can't, you can't use social media. You cannot look at Facebook. So those areas increase as far as the law goes.
The major drawback, in my opinion, is trying to differentiate between somebody who's placing a phone call, dialing a phone number or punching in the digits, which is legal or will be legal with the new law, versus somebody who's typing a text message and sending it. To me, that's virtually impossible to differentiate between without the person telling you either way, or subpoenaing phone records, or even getting a search warrant for those phone records. So I would see that as the first major hurdle that is going to be difficult to face. Not necessarily confiscate a phone. We'd have to go through the proper legal channels to get that, meaning probably a search warrant to seize that phone, or if the person gave us consent, which is in most cases probably unlikely. So that's a cumbersome process. It's going to take a lot of time. I also see people getting pulled over more frequently. If an officer does happen to see them using their cell phone, punching in a number or sending a text, like I said before, difficult to differentiate. So you'll see people, I think, getting pulled over more often who are simply probably dialing a phone number, because again, that provides that officer with probable cause right there, again, in my opinion, to stop them. It's very frustrating for us especially, but even for other motorists. We hear it all the time. We get the complaints all the time. So-and-so is driving down Highway 20 or Dodge, texting, they're erratic all over the road. We try to, dispatch officers to try and intervene and maybe make a traffic stop, but it's very frustrating. It's very difficult, especially when the laws aren't as effective as they could be. It kind of disarms us to some degree in terms of us being effective. And we had 400 people killed on our state's roads and highways last year, and you could figure easily about 3/4 of those were probably caused by some form of distracted driving. So yeah, it has us concerned and frustrated.
Whenever you take your eyes off the road and you're traveling, for example, 55 miles an hour, you're traveling 80 feet per second. And if you take your eyes off the road for 4 seconds, you're traveling approximately a football field. And so most texts take that long to conduct. And in Iowa, obviously with the texting law, you can't even read a text as part of the language of the law. So even glancing down to read it could be a couple seconds, depending on how how long a person sends a message and how long that message is. It could take 4 or 5 seconds, and if you don't glance back up, you very well could have been across the center line and hit a car head on.
It's regardless of age. It's a problem for everybody. I've yet to see somebody who's very good and safe at texting while driving. Very dangerous. When you have kids riding in the backseat watching mom or dad text while they're driving, what message does that send? I mean, that's comparable to having an open container in your vehicle, or using illegal drugs in front of your child. You're saying, yeah, this is against the law to do, but I'm going to do it because it's apparently okay. That sends a clear message to those kids. So yeah, not only is it incredibly dangerous that first year they start driving, but if they're going to be texting while they're driving, incredibly dangerous. Especially, we've seen mom and dad do it. It's okay for me to do it. You don't think for a second they're not picking up on that.